guys, here we are, MMA UK News, Stoomboy as always, MMA UK BJJ show. So going to be talking about grappling. So before we do, just a quick word on my sponsor. So just above me, Simplified Debt. Simplified Debt are a company who help people get out of debts. So anybody struggling financially, definitely hit them up. They do offer a friendly, free, confidential service. So as I mentioned, anybody looking for any kind of help or advice, then definitely hit these guys up. The information is across the bottom of the screen. And just quote the MMA UK BJJ show whenever you do call. Now, going to be talking about Grapple Wars 1. So Grapple Wars 1 is going to be Saturday, 29th of April. It's going to be in a place in North Wales called, I believe it's Llandudno. So going to be an amazing night. I mean, we've already seen the card. The card's looking absolutely awesome. Again, we've got some of the top grapplers from all over the UK going to be on the card, which is always brilliant. I mean, these sub-only events always bring out the best people. So you're going to see some awesome matchups coming out of North Wales on the 29th of April. Now, ticket availability, anybody looking for tickets, make sure you choose your chosen grappler. Double check with them. They may still have tickets available. Anybody that can't get tickets from your chosen grappler, then hit up the Grapple Wars, either their Facebook or their Instagram page, and you will get the ticket details through there. Now, my next guest then is going to be on the show that night. So my very handsome brother, Joe Foy, of Elite Jiu Jitsu in Somerset. Joe's awesome. Joe's absolutely love watching Joe. Love seeing him out there. Again, very, very aggressive, pushes the pace, great wrestling, very, very technical as well. So we're going to see some absolute fantastic fireworks against Jay Paul as well. So another tough opponent for Joe. But Joe loves these matchups. Joe, that's an absolute pleasure, brother. How you doing?
How are you, mate? It's nice to see you again. Nice to be back on the show. Thank you for having me back on.
Oh, listen, as soon as I saw your name, I was like, yes. So absolutely love chatting with you. I know we spoke obviously before Grapple Fest, and we met each other just before Grapple Fest started. We were having a chat, obviously yourself and your team. But I mean, how's everything been for you? So obviously training wise, I know you're always training anyway.
Yeah, Grapple Fest was a trip as well, seeing you there. Probably the biggest show at the moment to be on. The crowds, the events, the people. Training's been well. I took a bit of a hit after Grapple Fest, to be honest. Not necessarily in a bad way. It's probably motivated me to train harder. I think being on that much of a platform, obviously taking a loss, either it can send you one or two ways. You either hide in a hole, you come back and try and get back into training as much as you can. Yeah. It's nice to have the opportunity on Grapple Wars. I know it's their first show, but like you said, they're bringing in not only, which I thought was going to happen, the big Welsh crowd, but they're actually branching out to all over to bring grapplers in, which is good.
Yeah. A lot of good names on it as well. A lot of big names that we've seen. I mean, obviously, Team Drag, we know how good Drag is, and obviously they're bringing a good few people up from South Wales.
Yes.
And again, we're talking some of the best grapplers out there. I mean, and again, it's when I look at cards, obviously I know kind of most of the grapplers throughout the UK, but when I look at cards, some people might look and say, well, I don't really know that person. I don't really know that person. But for me, looking at the card, I'm like, I know exactly who they are. I know exactly what they're going to bring. So
it's the perfect opportunity for people that don't know these grapplers that may have been competing on the local circuit, on the circuit around England. You've got some hidden gems. Yeah. A lot, but again, still the card's top with big names. A lot of the drag team, like you said, we've been lucky enough to have someone I know you would have heard of, Cormac Anderson, clearing up at purple belt. Yeah. He's actually been training with us for the last 3 or 4 months, actually. I know his parents live in Weston, so we've had him at the club every week. Really good round, perfect for me. My weight, 85 purple. So let's just hope it goes the right way. I know that Jay Paul, my opponent, fights at a London Grapple. He's going to be an established leg locker, but again, with the wrestling and the guard passing, I think we're going to be all right.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, as the leg lockers, a lot of people are doing leg locks now. A lot of people, but as you said, I mean, your wrestling is at a point where, you're going to be out out wrestle the leg lock. So if he goes for it, you'll be able to move position very quickly and things like that. So not something that's going to worry you too much, I would suspect.
Yeah. I think the mistake I made on the Grapple Wars card is the wrestling, the stand-up went perfectly. I think I rested too much on the bottom. I was being lazy from the bottom. I was thinking legs, attacking legs, instead of using my normal game, the wrestle up game, come out on top. I probably spent too much time thinking about legs on the bottom. I caught a couple of nice saddle entries, couldn't get the finish, ended up on bottom. I just didn't push myself hard enough. I think that was the problem. But again, perfect time to reflect on it, perfect time to change again. 29th of April. Hopefully it'll go differently. The training's been good. The training partners have been good. We'll just have to give it another crack and see what happens.
Yeah. Listen, it's always a joy watching you. I absolutely love watching you, whether it be in like big stages like this, on submission onlys, local comps and stuff like that. It's always great seeing you out there and doing your thing. So 29th of April.
Submission only. Submission only seems to be the way it's going at the moment. You see quite like the categories. We got 15 people from the club competing on Saturday again at the Devon Open. The categories are really slim. But then you look at the British and English sub-only comps that are popping up. The categories are stacked. I think Jiu-Jitsu is not necessarily going away from point scoring, but I think people favour the sub-only rule set now with the heel hooks. People aren't so worried about points. The 10-minute matches are better. It gives you more of a chance to actually fight instead of play the clock and play the rule set. So things like Grapple Wars, Grapple Fest, I think it will be the future of Nogi Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah. We've seen a lot. ADCC are doing, obviously, comps all over. We've now got ADCC Wales, ADCC Scotland, ADCC England, Ireland as well. So,
exactly.
So obviously there's more ADCC submission only invitationals, as well as ADCC competitions that are going to be popping up certainly over the next over this year, basically. So and that's, as you said, that's what's exciting, definitely. So it's more exciting watching a submission only than it would be to sit and watch an IBJJF comp.
Oh, 100%. Like I said, with the mat space of Grapple Fest, the mat space of Grapple Wars, people can't just play the corners of the mat. People can't play the time. People can't play advantages. It's either you stand and wrestle or you sit guard and leg lock. But either way, it's always going to be scrappy. It's always going to be scrambly. And the second you get tired, you can't be backed off the mat for a reset. You know what I mean? You have to do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. What about you then? How did Grapple Wars come up? How did you find out you were going to be on the very first Grapple Wars?
It was actually mentioned to me by someone at Grapple Fest.
Yeah.
So whether it was the two promoters that were there watching on the night, they actually approached me and mentioned that a card was going to be coming up and if we'd be interested, or anyone from the club from Elite Jiu Jitsu Somerset would have been interested. And we said, yeah, absolutely. We probably didn't realize that it was going to be in Llandudno, which is almost a 5-hour drive away from us. But after we put the names forward and we were accepted, we absolutely took it. We've got 3 people on the card. We've got myself, Jordan Kirk, who recently fought on the Grapple Wars, just gone.
Yeah.
And Josiah, who is a up-and-coming blue belt, fought on Grapple Fest Contenders. Really exciting, heavyweight, athletic. So, yeah, there's 3 of us. It should be a good night. We've got a good mix. So we've got brown, purple, and blue. But again, wrestle heavy, exciting styles, leg lockers. So it's going to be good to be doing it in front of the crowd.
It'd be good as well, obviously, doing it with your teammates, because as you know, there's been times where you went to competitions and so on, where it's maybe just been you or it's just been one other person.
The last Grapple Fest was just me. Yeah, exactly. The rest of the club had the British Open, 20 of them. But luckily, we were able to show Chris Thompson this time on Grapple Fest that we sold 35 tickets. So we back up what we say.
Yeah. So it's going to be good, obviously, having people there, having the team there, obviously people on the card as well. So, So obviously good luck to those guys as well. Definitely good luck to them.
Thank you.
What about you then? What's your plans for the year? So obviously Grapple Wars, I'm presuming that'll be, again, main focus coming up in a couple of weeks' time. But what would you like to see yourself doing going forward, Joe?
We're hoping to hit as many sub-only shows as possible. We've actually, in the process of getting a lot of the clubs signed up to the IBJJF competition so we can hit some of the opens. I know I've just said that Jiu-Jitsu is going away from the point scoring system, but it seems to be the IBJJF opens that sub-only shows seem to recognize more for spots on these shows. If you've won an Open, a London Open, a Dublin Open, they seem to snap those up. The competitions like the British and that aren't necessarily held as such a high standard anymore, in my opinion. Other people may say different, but the IBJJF Open seem to be where all the up-and-coming talent from purple all the way up to black, like I say, and people are jumping in, people are winning. So I think that might be what's ahead for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Obviously, sorry.
Well, I was going to say, you do see a lot of that, like Grapple Fest. There was a lot of IBJJF world champions or European champions and so on, or even ADCC people that had been maybe won the trials or been out to Vegas and stuff like that.
Exactly. It seems to be, even if you train specifically for sub only, if you can just base your training for the 8 weeks to the 10 weeks before an IBJJF competition, just to bring home podium spots, gold medals, bronze medals, as an opportunity to get onto these sub-only shows. The sub-only shows are the bigger exposure if you're looking to get somewhere in your jiu-jitsu. But it's always nice to bring home gold medals from Opens, silver medals, bronze medals, even to enter for the experience. But obviously everyone wants to win. Yeah,
definitely. So we're going to see hopefully some IBJJF stuff coming up, some doing things like that, and then getting back onto Grapple Fest and
that'll be Grapple Fest again would be amazing for another shot. Obviously, I know they're probably not looking for people with a 0-1 record, but get a few wins under your belt and then wait for the message.
See, the thing is, though, I mean, I know Chris, and the thing with Chris is, even though somebody's got maybe a 0-1, 0-2, even a 0-3, I mean, see if you go in there and put on a performance and you perform well. I mean, your matchup was good. Your matchup was really, really good to watch. As there was a lot of positives to take from it. So, and that's the thing. Do you sell tickets? Yes. Do you perform well? You did. And are you exciting to watch? Do the spectators love to see? Well, they certainly did. So that's the difference. So that's the thing. I mean, even with a 0-1, a negative record, that makes no difference. It's about the excitement that you bring. And that's you certainly bring it when you do go.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I hope people weren't snoozing in their chairs at the match. People were in the crowd watching and excited. Not taking the win is obviously a big part about it. The experience was brilliant. Like I said, Alfie was the perfect opponent. I can go and make 100 excuses if I wanted to. I just didn't work hard enough. He completely outworked me. It went the time limit. In a way, it's a positive that he submitted this Pans champion on the last one. At least I went 10 minutes. At least I went 10 minutes. It was back and forth. So there's positives from everything. Yeah. Listen, hopefully another shot in Grapple Fest soon. So, and then final thing for you then, Joe. So again, I mean, we know who you want to thank, but who would you want to shout out to? Any friends, family members, teammates? Yep, 100%. Coaches, Jordan Kirk, Ben Stacey, all my training partners at the club. Again, everyone works super hard week in, week out. We're there 6 nights a week. I don't think people realize how much goes into the club and stuff like that. My girlfriend for always supporting me. She's actually sat in the corner. She gets secondhand embarrassment when I do interviews like this, but she is here listening. And other than that, everyone that's been there for the rounds, everyone that's pulled me back in for the rounds when I'm sitting on the side thinking I don't want to do any more, the same as every jiu-jitsu athlete would say, I think. But perfect.
Yeah. Listen, it's an awesome team. Anybody in the area, definitely hit up Elite Jiu Jitsu Somerset, because as you will get some really, really good rounds and some really, really good training. I mean, a lot of savages down there. So yeah, definitely make sure you hit them up if you're in the area. So guys, there we go then. We're going to have Joe Foy, Elite Jiu Jitsu Somerset. Going to be up against Jay Paul. That's going to be Grapple Wars 1. 29th of April, so Saturday, 29th of April. Ticket availability, anybody looking for tickets? If you are going to see Joe, double check with Joe to see if he does have any tickets available. If he doesn't, then hit up Grapple Wars or Facebook or Instagram, and you will get all the information through there. It's going to be another amazing night of grappling there, this time in North Wales. So Joe, listen, absolute pleasure as always, brother.
Thank you for your time, mate. I really appreciate you having me back on. And hopefully on the next interview, I'll be bringing home a Grapple Wars medal. Hopefully you'll be interviewing me again for Grapple Fest, and then I'll be back on and make it a reoccurring thing.
Definitely, brother, definitely. But listen, thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your training, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks, all right?
And you, my friend. Thank you very much.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.